Barbara to join us this morning to talk about her work with the 1,000 Gap and Go Challenge. So, Barbara, just to begin, can you tell us about yourself, your family, what you do for work, for fun, and how long you've been trading? That was a lot. I'll type it out.
Sure. Yeah, well, I'm a military wife. My husband and I have been married for 14 years, and we have a 6-year-old son. And as far as for my career, when my son was born, I decided to not go back to the corporate world. I'd done many different things. I'd done sales, I'd done assurance, strategic partnerships, so many different things. And what I really wanted to do after my son was born was just be a mom and be there for him. I thought if someone screws him up, I want him to be me. And that goes. I have enjoyed being a stay-at-home mom, but I also still absolutely have goals and vision. So I've decided to, that's one of the reasons why I've been furthering my trading and investing education, is so that I can be use that as a second career and also a bridge for other goals.
That's awesome. To start with, thank you for your service and thank you for your husband's service, because I know it's a whole family thing. So thank you for what you do. How long have you been trading?
It depends on how you look at that. Technically, I don't necessarily even look at the years anymore because I get kind of depressed. But it's like, okay, remain. I started education maybe about 2 years ago. However, I really don't feel like I have um, done the work and conditioned myself and gotten into the process of what that means and done it for myself until this past fall, when surprisingly my son went to kindergarten and I actually had time to do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm stay-at-home dad with two myself, and kindergarten is a bittersweet goal because that's when I have to say goodbye to them for many hours in a day. But yeah, it's when you get time to buckle down and start trading. How many Gap and Goes have you found, and what have you learned so far?
Well, as of this weekend, I had only completed about almost 60. But after talking to you yesterday and just briefly going over a couple points, last night I devoted about an hour, and within about 35 minutes, I flew through, instead of the 60 that I completed in over a week, I flew through about 65.
Wow,
I just changed a
cool.
couple.
Uh-huh. So what have you been learning? What's your ahas? What's your takeaways so
I
far?
Well, just going back to the first 60, the first set that I had completed, I really wasn't sure. I was doing it. I was looking at it. I was thinking about it. And probably in true Barbara fashion, one of my talents is digging deep, but that can also be a hindrance because sometimes you dig too deep. So I was making it more complicated. I really wasn't sure if I was doing it right, but the important part was that I did keep going. For example, I was trying really desperately to try to understand each candle, the why of how it got there, where I thought the stock might be moving next, and just really racking my brain with each one, really trying to grasp it. And honestly, like I told you yesterday, I felt like I was swimming in muddy waters, and it was tiresome. But it's like, okay, just keep going. But then after talking to you and realizing, it's like, wait a minute, why are you complicating this? Like Brad said, and Jeremy says, it's simple. At this stage one, it's super simple. And I literally I got off the phone and I'm like, okay, 3 easy steps. And it was exactly what you were talking about. One, pull up the stock. Two, find the gap. Is it a gap? Yes or no? Two, is it a gap and go? Yes or no? Three, and then I ended up calling this the SNS, simple sentiment. Trapping people, no. How badly? Meaning, do you have an edge? Um, and using this perspective, and literally I wrote it down, I taped it on a board, and I had to literally have that in front of me so that the minute my mind wanted to make it more, I just went back. And I'm like, no, 1, 2, 3, boom, done. And I flew through like 65 in a matter of, I think, 25 minutes.
Wow.
Awesome. I love that process. So you're up to what, 120, 130 now?
So I think it was, and I'm a big tracker. it's just something that I have to do in order to achieve what I want. I'm at 128.
Okay. And so what have you learned so far? What's your takeaways?
Okay. Just I want everybody to join me, first of all. I want a buddy. And hopefully, as a new person, that if you feel like you're muddying around, stop and take a step back and ask yourself why. Only you know yourself, but you probably, if you take that step back and look at it as opposed to keep going, you could probably either recognize that you need a life raft or give yourself one and say, one, have I made it too complicated? Or two, am I just not devoting the time? Which is, both are easy fixes. And two, for the seasoned pros, well, that whether you've done it and either stopped or not started, and even for the people that are new like me, it's just like, it's like tilling the land. The value is in the process of doing the work. And that is what's going to not only sharpen our skills, but give us the process which will eventually create value.
That's beautiful. If you guys have a question for Barbara, go ahead and type it in. Excuse me. And Barbara, I'll help moderate the questions. Why did you start the 1,000 Gap and Go Challenge in the first place?
Basically, I felt like I was doing some false starts. I felt like I was, I had the attitude of, oh, I still need to learn more. I still need to learn more, which again is a strength and a downfall. Sometimes I need, and I've learned about myself, sometimes I need someone to say, okay, you're done. You just need to do it. You have what you have, whatever skills you need in this process, you could figure out where your shortcomings are, you can figure out where your strengths are, you can figure out, just start, just take the step, like anything. It all begins with the step and the action of doing it. And so for me, sometimes challenges and being accountable to somebody else in addition to myself of like, oh yeah, I said I'd do that. Okay, I have it on my to-do list. Have I checked it? It's like, oh no, wait, Brad's going to check in about this. Oh yeah, wait. Brad said at 100, text him. And yeah, okay, I can't text him because I'm not at. So in the back of my mind, of like, oh goodness, it's a matter of days before he asks.
That's true. And I was actually going to bring that up. Yeah, I haven't gotten any text. Well, I got a text message from you this morning, but yeah, I see you passed 100. Of course, you did that yesterday, but yeah, feel free. And this goes to everyone. Text me when you hit, for every 100. I want to hear about your process, or send me an email. Yeah. Sounds awesome. So, Barbara, one last question. You are at 128 right now, and your goal is to get to 1,000. How do you keep yourself on schedule? Do you have a certain number that you want to find every day? Do you have a certain amount of time that you've blocked off? How do you keep yourself disciplined besides the whole guilt factor?
Yeah, exactly. I looked at that last night because for me, it's like I need to put it on a schedule. And break down the process, or else I get really overwhelmed. So I basically I'd like to do 50 a day, but what I did was 50 every other day. And if that means, okay, tonight I can do 10, tomorrow I can do 40, or tonight I can do 50, or break it down in chunks, that is one thing. And then I literally just do like a tic-tac-toe check because it's fun. And I go, oh yeah, check. Oh yeah, check. And part of the process is I'm not allowed to take notes right now because I can, again, that will start me, for me, not for necessarily anybody else, but for me, that can start me down a rabbit hole at this stage in the game where it's supposed to be simple. So I just get to the mark of fun little, like the not tic-tac-toe, but mark 4, and then the little cross, the 5, the little checks. So for me, it's just fun and simple. Okay, good, I checked one. Okay, there's another one, 2. And then when I sit down, I just try to think, okay, can I could I possibly, check 20 before getting out of the seat and running to do something else? And then, like I was talking to you earlier, is I'm a big journaler. I can think about it off the cuff, or we could sit here and talk. For me, where the process really starts to gel and where I really start to get some aha moments is when I'm reflective about it. And I'm usually do my best reflecting or processing is when I sit down and I write about it. And so later I could see how this could be a different type of journal, but for me, I actually journal it and write it out of what I'm learning. And that, for whatever reason, whether it be pen to paper and processing it through your mind and the things that come up, really helps to solidify. And I write it like I'd be writing in a personal journal. Things that I noticed, the things that I'm not allowed to do to keep it simple. Like later I can sit down. Last night after I finished the however many, 40 some, I sat down and thought, okay, right at then, the goal right then and there was to just get through 20 and then just get through another 20 more. But right now I can. What did I really notice? Did I see spikes in volume? Did I see big trappings? Did I see like the Scott stock that I don't remember yesterday? It looked really schizo to me. Did I see that a lot? Did I go, I went back to that Scott stock because it looked so schizo. What's going on? Is the stock always schizo? And so, but I got to process it as I wrote about it. And so I think it's just finding, like anything else, we're all different and we all have our strengths and talents. It's finding what works for you and then just committing to do it. And the challenge is a perfect opportunity because it's got your accountability and your name on the line. And then it gives you that extra then some of, okay, this is also being accountable to Brad's giving you the opportunity of saying, use me. And I'm saying, give me the opportunity of, I want a buddy. I want someone else to go, hey, did you do your 20 you said you're going to do? Because there's strength in numbers.
So guys, Barbara Hammond's looking for a buddy for the 1,000 Gap and Go Challenge. If you're interested in becoming a buddy, start typing in and we'll get everybody hooked up. Carlos, would you jot down names of people that say that they're going to do the 1,000 Gap and Go Challenge? And if anyone's going to join in, then we can help get everyone connected later on the back end. So Barbara, thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for sharing. I love it. Thanks for being here. And for all of those that are thinking about the Gap and Go Challenge, the goal is to get yourself to a point where you can recognize a gap and go kind of on the fly. So you look at the gaps and you can instantly tell if it's a retest gap or a gap and go, and you can start crushing out these day trades much faster. The first step is to find 1,000 gap and goes, and you just pull up a chart and start scrolling back and you count them. Then the second step is to start looking at the gaps when they happen, start writing in numbers of where you would make your trades and enter and where you would exit. And then your third step is to actually do it virtually. And then once you do it virtually, you're ready to go.